One thing is for sure, whenever you're talking from now onwards, I should be quite open to accept the billions and millions of the numbers.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh, it's almost a privilege to be able to work on a product like Maps. We have mapped 300 million buildings.
300 million buildings. I just contributed almost 25 kilometers to that 2.5 billion just in the morning. And I so feel jealous whenever I'm putting a navigation. If I'm in a car, it's showing me 50 minutes. Just next to it, it's a bike option. It's showing me 40 minutes.
Maps has a saves feature.
Okay.
And you can actually save your favorites. I want to tell all users to continue to send us feedback. चलिए शुरू करते हैं.
Guys, it's time to start. It's time to say चलिए शुरू करते हैं. The reason I'm saying this is just because it's about something which I use on a daily basis. And whenever I'm heading out, I can't say चलिए शुरू करते हैं without this. I'm talking about Google Maps. And I believe Maps, it's something which is baked into our daily lifestyle like anything. मतलब आप कहीं जाने का प्लान कर रहे हैं, आप कहीं जाने के लिए निकल चुके हैं, you just are curious about a new country or a new city that you are relocating to. आप I think Maps को daily basis पे इतना ज़्यादा use करते हैं कि आपको लगता है कि you have all the power. I mean, you feel like a superhuman because आप दिल्ली में बैठे बैठे या फिर आप कहीं इंडिया के किसी छोटे कस्बे में बैठे बैठे जिस शहर को चाहें उस शहर को घूम सकते हैं. फॉर दैट मैटर आप अपने सिटी में देख सकते हैं कि सैटेलाइट से आपका सिटी कैसा लगता है, हाउ ग्रीन इज इट, या फिर कहाँ पे सड़क बन गई है, वेयर एग्जैक्टली डेवलपमेंट इज हैपनिंग. आपके घर की छत के ऊपर जो आपने पुराना फर्नीचर रखा है, हाउ एग्जैक्टली इज दैट लुकिंग फ्रॉम द स्ट्रीट व्यू और सैटेलाइट व्यू, एवरीथिंग. सो आई बिलीव दिस इज समथिंग विच इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड दैट्स द रीजन I have with me Miriam, who heads Map on a global scale, and she's here with us to tell us more about everything in detail. मैं बहुत सारी बातें पूछने वाला हूँ, काफ़ी कुछ हमको नए insights मिलने वाले हैं that how exactly Google is ensuring a better navigation setup, a better kind of environment wherein जब हम maps को use करते हैं तो हम काफ़ी आसानी से अपनी destination तक पहुँच जाएं and we might be able to beat some traffic as well. Miriam, how are you?
Very good, thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Now it's time to say चलिए शुरू करते हैं.
चलिए शुरू करते हैं.
This is something just अभी दिमाग में आया. How about there's an option of adding this to the maps. So at least just for me, whenever I'm starting the navigation, the map should say चलिए शुरू करते हैं.
Why not? Why not?
I mean, there should be an option of custom command. Just how we are able to change the custom arrow to a car or a truck. Yeah. So I mean, if it's a custom command,
we'll keep that in mind.
What's happening with Maps? I mean, I remember my journey of using Maps long ago, and I would say the way it has evolved, the way new features are coming in every few months, it has improved a lot. How's the journey for you?
Oh, it's almost a privilege to be able to work on a product like Maps. And like you said, many of us use it every single day, so you can relate to it. Every day I have users sending us issues about, a road or an address or a geocode or a place that's incorrect. And actually, Maps is made possible not just because of all the satellite imagery, not just because of all the data we are collecting about the roads and the networks, not just our partnerships with cities and governments. Users are editing our maps on a daily basis, and that's what makes Maps possible. It's an entire community effort to keep Maps fresh. There's like billions of updates happening to the map on a daily basis. But you just mentioned that features are coming out almost every 3 months. And there is a secret behind that. There is something called AI behind everything we do. And over the last decade, it has actually supercharged what we're able to do. It's accelerated everything that we're able to do. One example that maybe users here can relate to is we just started deploying street view coverage in India about a year and a half ago.
Yes.
A year ago, I was here talking to Indian users about street view. But in the last year alone, we have mapped millions and millions of kilometers of roads in India. We have mapped 300 million buildings.
300 million buildings.
Okay. In India.
India being a huge country, I mean,
It's vast, it's complex, but just capturing street view imagery and using the power of AI, we're able to extract all this information. And it's not just buildings and roads. When you actually capture the imagery, we're actually able to capture photos of small mom and pop shops and businesses that may never even have an online presence. But we now know that they exist, their business name, their address, maybe even a phone number that was seen on the board outside their store, and we put them on the map. And the minute you put them on the map, they now exist for their users to find them and engage with them. So we have nearly about 30 million businesses on the map, and it's an unbelievable number. 900 million connections are being made between businesses and their end users in India alone.
So one thing is for sure, whenever you're talking from now onwards, I should be quite open to accept the billions and millions of the numbers.
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, since you mentioned the big B, we have about hundreds of millions of users just in India engaging with maps, about 50 million searches a day, but nearly 2.5 billion kilometers of directions in a day.
I just contributed almost 25 kilometers to that 2.5 billion just in the morning.
And the purpose for giving you all these numbers is, again, as you said, just to convey the vast scale of India. And with scale comes diverse needs. Complexity comes with scale. There are a lot of challenges that are unique to India. But we've been able to use the street view imagery, apply AI to it, and extract all of these, mapping information, putting it on a very rich map that allows Indian users to engage with them, right? So that innovation has been very rapid in the last year and a half. And, we're really excited about this because we have a lot more coming, which is based on this foundation that I just talked about. Once you put more, kilometers on the map, once you put more places on the map, once you have the street view imagery, we can actually change map making, right? We're very excited about, the way user expectations are changing. Users no longer just want to know about a place, they actually want to experience a place before they go. So map making, we think, is going to become very immersive. And when we do all this imagery, we're able to convert that into very immersive use cases. So you should be able to truly experience a place even before you go.
From inside and outside.
From inside and outside, outdoor, indoor, everywhere. And you explain some of these views. And then when you're actually physically at a place, you should be able to hold up your phone and actually look around and discover hidden gems around you, businesses around you, right? So that kind of immersive, expressive, experiences are coming to maps.
Miriam, I have a question on this. I mean, okay, so we all know how diverse India is, the kind of geography we have. At the same time, if you talk about cities, even big cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, I mean, the way the setup is it's very dynamic. Sometimes you'll have those small alleys. Sometimes you have a big highway going on. I mean, India, I must say, should be quite challenging to map in the first place. So how exactly do you think, your journey has been? Because I'm sure lots of AI going on. If you talk about street view, I'm sure there are streets in the country wherein you can't put a vehicle inside.
Yes,
so all those things combined the kind of, diversity we have in India. How's your journey been on that?
It's been actually very interesting. There's a lot of built first for India. We actually build unique things for India and then scale it to similar countries around the world. I'll give you a lot of examples. For the first time when we launched Street View, we realized that you can't just mount cameras on four-wheeler cars. Like you just said, there are really narrow roads. So we actually worked with our partners locally, Genesis and Tech Mahindra. They have three-wheelers.
Okay, rickshaws.
Going into narrow roads and collecting imagery. So we have to always adapt to things like that in India. The other thing is two-wheeler navigation. We actually invented that for the first time in India.
I remember.
Many years ago.
And I so feel jealous whenever I'm putting a navigation. If I'm in a car, it's showing me 50 minutes. Just next to it, it's a bike option. It's showing me 40 minutes because it's maybe showing some shortcuts or something that a bike can go on.
Exactly. Or there's an assumption that if you're on a bike, you can go, in between cars a little faster as well.
Yeah.
So, but those are the kind of models we've been developing as we see traffic patterns and we see roads that are navigated, roads that are not being navigated. Maybe we only see pedestrian traffic in some roads, but we actually see cars through some other roads going at a certain speed. So all of this is being modeled at an aggregate level so that we can come up with better estimates for ETA, your time for arrival.
Yeah.
We can provide you alternate routes. In fact, this journey of navigation, it's come a long way because for India, for the first time, we actually had to introduce something called landmark-based navigation. Because I'm sure when you give directions to a friend or a family member, you're saying, turn left after this medical shop or something like that, right? But we had to do that for India for the first time. Nowhere else in the world we had landmark-based navigation.
That's how we are developed.
That's how you think and you talk. And in fact, after we launched Street View and after we were able to put all these places and businesses on the map that I just gave you numbers for, we now have way more landmarks. And we've actually specifically made sure we collected landmarks that are relevant for Indian users. Like, in other parts of the world, they might search for restaurants, restaurant chains, things like that. But in India, they wanted all the government services, the post offices, where is the electricity board, where are the hospitals and the medical clinics, where are the places of worship, right?
Yeah.
And that's what they're using to give directions.
Yeah.
So because we were able to collect and put all this information on the map, now we're actually even changing how we show addressing. One thing that's very unique to Indian users, they drop a pin on the map, then they share it with someone and say, this is the place you need to come to.
Yeah.
But that's a bunch of numbers, latitude, longitude
and
numbers, right?
Mostly it's within messaging app like WhatsApp.
Something like that.
Just from within that, you just share a location pin here.
But now we will start showing up to 5 landmarks around that location. So it's more intuitive for you to find your way there. Right? And we're able to do that because we put all these landmarks on.
So once you are nearby, you will see a landmark and you'll be like, okay, I am at the right place.
Absolutely. But then fast forward into the future, right? Like we all know how congested the urban areas are.
Yeah.
And what we realized is it's actually, societal problem. Traffic congestion is a societal problem. Carbon emissions is a planetary scale problem. And so, when you think of Google Maps, you only think about how do I go from A to B. But there's a lot that happens behind the scenes. For example, a project called Green Light, we're working with a couple of cities in India and their traffic departments to help them optimize traffic lights to reduce wait times.
Basis of the traffic flow at that exact time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you optimize traffic flow and reduce wait time, you reduce carbon emissions too, right? Another feature we're bringing to India is something called fuel efficient routing.
Okay.
It's actually launched worldwide. To be honest, there's in the last year and a half, per our estimates, we've saved about 2.5 million metric tons of carbon emissions.
It's always about millions and billions because if you talk about...
Okay, I'll give you something that you can relate to. It's the equivalent of taking 500,000 cars off the road.
Even that's beyond imagination, to be honest. But I'm sure, this fuel efficient routing, is it something like a feature that I have to turn it on?
No, not at all. Okay. So we're going to launch it in India very soon. And what you'll see is every time you look for directions, you might see a couple of alternate routes. Yeah. One of them might be marked with a green leaf.
Okay.
Okay, that's a fuel efficient route. So it's very easy to understand. We'll actually even tell you the ETA between these alternate routes.
Yeah.
And we might tell you what % fuel you might save if you take that route. So let me give you an example. Let's say it took you 35 minutes to come here. You might see an alternate route that might be 40 minutes to come here. And when we calculate this, we do this based on knowing what kind of vehicle you're in, whether you're in a 2-wheeler, 4-wheeler, or what type of engine you have. We actually work with national energy bodies to compute these standard calculations and model it. But we also look at, what kind of road you're going through, the condition of the road. Is it stop and go traffic, or if you take a slightly longer route, is it free flowing traffic?
Makes sense.
Free flowing traffic is more fuel efficient.
Yeah.
So we give you this option. If we can gently nudge the user to spend 5 more minutes on the road but take a fuel efficient route, they have actually contributed to carbon emission savings.
I think the best that you would contribute would be the mental peace. You know, if I'm on a street which is like a free flow, it's any day better than a stop and go traffic.
Yeah, it's all relative. Keep that in mind. Anything can change with Indian traffic and road conditions, but everything is relative. And so when at the population scale you apply a technology like this, imagine how much India's carbon emissions can be saved. Right? So we're really excited to bring that to India.
Miriam, I'm sure you are aware that almost anyone in India who's using a smartphone is using Maps as a default because it comes pre-installed, and I mean this is something which we all are equipped with from day one in our smartphones. And someone using a smartphone from today, he would definitely be kind of lean towards Map for navigation in future. So what all features, if you can tell, are coming for the Indian users in future to enjoy this navigation experience even better?
Awesome. So specific to navigation, fuel efficient routing is coming very soon. So you will start seeing the green leaf. But soon we will be continuing to optimize the kind of routes we give you. Maybe even an EV route versus a non-EV route, we will optimize for you.
Also putting in maybe the charging station locations or everything,
that'll come soon. And India is one of those countries where two-wheeler EV is exploding. Right? And it's a different, unique usage pattern. People are taking EVs and swapping batteries. They're not like stopping and charging.
I know.
So there's a lot of uniqueness there. And when we bring those solutions to Indian users, we want to make sure that we are comprehensive and reliable in terms of the information we give you. But navigation is not all about driving.
It's public transport is...
Majority of Indian consumers are using public transit. And there's something else that is very unique. It's not just one mode of public transit, right? If you want to go from one place to another, you might have to walk the first leg. You might actually take an auto, share an auto, ride hail, something, get to a metro station, take a metro or a local train, and then get to the final leg of your destination. So this is what we call
That's not it. I mean, I remember a friend in Mumbai, and he was telling me that first few meters is a walking distance, then there's a ferry, then there's the auto rickshaw, and then there's the metro and the bus and so on.
It is so
multiple ways.
Exactly. And each one of these legs, each one of these services is provided by different agencies. Sometimes it's city-driven agencies, sometimes it's private agencies, right? So it's not an easily scalable problem if you want to make all of this seamless.
Makes sense.
So we are going to announce something this week, which is on today. If you've heard of ONDC, we really have a kindred vision here. They want an open network where anybody is offering any service, whether it's food delivery,
should be on
mobility,
the platform.
They just publish their availability, right? Anybody that wants to consume the service can consume it and make it available for end users.
Open network for digital commerce.
Exactly. And apply that to mobility, right? So metros, ride-hailing services, local trains, buses could eventually publish their services on ONDC. And mobility apps can actually read that and make it accessible for everyone. So this week, we're actually going to bring that vision to life with a partnership with Nammayatri.
Okay.
It's an indigenous app. They were the first on ONDC. We're going to partner with them to first launch metros and metro bookings. Okay. And you can imagine a future where that journey is not just about metros. There is the ride share auto. There is maybe other parts of your journey. And you should be able to book everything in one shot. So powered by ONDC and Nammayatri, Google Maps wants to bring this sort of an end-to-end seamless, public transportation to our users in India. This is about accessibility, right? Like everybody needs to have access, digitized, easy, seamless access, and affordability, affordable services that they can just quickly book everywhere. So we're getting started on that journey with both ONDC and Nammayatri, and we hope to make public transportation something that is lower friction and seamless and easy for users to get to.
Miriam, but when you look at all these multiple different ways of transportation powered by multiple different entities, how to make sure that someone who's relying on maps for this point A to point B navigation, including those multiple things, kind of, doesn't go off the track in between just because something is delayed or something is not available?
Yeah, that's a very good question. We have to actually, there's going to be some growing pains, right? As we stated earlier, India is really large, complex, and that comes with a few unique challenges that we have to address. But we're going to work with all of these partners to ensure that there is some level of service level assurance, SLAs, some quality of service, some reliability. Maybe we can alert them that there are delays on a particular train line. Maybe we can alert them that there are road closures somewhere. This is what is possible because Google Maps has all these modes of transportation in one place, right? We're working with city authorities. We might get road closure information. Users are giving us edits. They might tell us a road is blocked because there is maybe a parade or something going on. And we can piece all this together and give real-time information back to users so it's in their control. They can make decisions about their trip.
So I believe one thing that we always need to keep in mind is it's at the end the users contributing to maps. It's always about crowdsourcing and how kind of all the users combined making maps even more powerful.
Yes. Since you said crowdsourcing, another thing comes to mind. I don't know if you're familiar with this app called Where Is My Train?
No, I haven't used it. Yeah.
It is the #1 travel app in India.
Okay.
Based on sheer downloads as well as users engaging with it, and it is actually a Google transportation app.
Okay, and this works for all kind of trains?
It is for trains.
Okay.
Okay. We started with long distance intercity trains. We have all of India's train lines mapped there.
Okay.
We have nearly 80 million users every month using Where's My Train. Right? Now the backend is very similar between Google Maps and Where's My Train, but Where's My Train is so powerful because people who only want to take trains don't have to go through the rest of Google Maps. They can just go into this app, pick a line, they keep going. Right?
They see live tracking of the train. Yeah.
And this is where we saw the power of crowdsourcing as well. Train users are very committed to giving information about this line is down, this line is running delayed by X minutes. They give us this information, which helps the entire community, right? And we love our users in India because of all the countries in the world, 60 million active contributors giving us millions of edits every day. Okay, they love maps and we love them because without them, we cannot keep maps updated. We cannot keep pace with the rate at which things are changing in India.
I believe there's some program as well as kind of giving incentives for people who put in their contribution towards maps.
There is something called local guides.
Yeah, exactly, local guides. Yeah.
And the more you contribute, and people are contributing, everything from...
They're posting pictures to adding new businesses, to putting details, to giving updates about, okay, this thing is closed now. Or
you should just be our spokesperson.
No, I mean, so this is what that I was aware about. I mean, I think that's what is going on. Yeah.
Totally. They even give us edits on the map itself. They might say, this road is named wrong, or correct this, POI. This business exists here. They give us business hours, opening hours. Yeah. Photos, videos, reviews about places, which is so useful because you have a human voice telling you what to expect about that place. So all of that is done by our Maps users, but there's a community of what we call local guides, and the more you contribute, you kind of go up in local guides levels as well.
You go up the ladder and Ma'am, anything extra that you want to put in, like towards India or?
Well, what I would say is mapping India is both fun and a big challenge, right?
I would say if it's challenging, then it becomes fun.
Totally right. Our teams have been taking this up as a really good challenge. We actually have lots of teams based in Bangalore and Hyderabad that are building these solutions and scaling them globally. So we actually build them in India for global markets as well. And everything from user trust, moderation, checking for abuse and fraud. We have AI models running every day, detecting, fraud and abuse.
Fake, false businesses.
Everything, So we have massive systems and models that are running every day to detect it, to protect our users, because we value the trust our users have in maps, and to preserve that trust, we have to continue to be a reliable source of information for them.
Makes sense.
All the way to bringing public transit and better navigation solutions. We have lots of teams working in India for India.
But say in future, I'm not sure when exactly it's happening, but we'll definitely see the 3D buildings and all those advanced features to Indian
Not too
maps as
far
well?
in the future. I'm going to show you some demos
Okay.
of some really immersive, augmented reality-based, use cases that are coming to India. So you can actually immerse yourself as you're exploring areas around you.
Amazing. Miriam, just one last line from you to all the people watching, and everyone is a map user. You being the lead for Google Maps, what's the one tip that you want to share to everyone that can enhance their map experience? Just one tip. Should be a hidden gem, to be honest. Sorry, putting you on the spot now.
No, the thing that works for me the most is Maps has a saves feature.
Okay.
And you can actually save your favorites. You can organize them for yourself. So you can go back and find the places you liked and share it with your friends. You can collaborate with your friends, put them on a list. And, a lot of times collaborating with your friends is the hard part when you decide to hang out or go somewhere together. So, all my favorites are saved on Maps. So I'd encourage everybody to, make Maps your own.
Guys, save all the important locations. If you're going for a vacation, maybe you can save all the places you want to go to or something.
Exactly.
Yeah?
You can create lists, of places you want to go to, your wish
I
list.
didn't know this feature, to be honest. I might start saving now.
Yes,
But,
yes. And, you have so many followers. They might want to, to share some of your curated lists as well.
Oh, yeah.
Of your favorite places.
So I can save and then I can share the list.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Guys, one feature that I must recommend all of you is to use offline maps, because sometimes if you are not connected to the internet, if you have a map saved in, the GPS works even without the internet. So at least you can navigate. Might not give you the real-time traffic, but still, saver sometimes.
Yes.
If you use it.
And offline maps was built for India first
Oh.
to make sure we address the coverage gaps.
Great. Now, and so today we have the phones with all the high-end storage and everything. So I think 2 or 3 GB of my phone storage is dedicated towards offline maps. I still use them just in case if I am to use. I mean,
Okay.
I still save those places, offline.
Yeah. Well, you are a power user. Thank you very much for being
Thank you.
A user that loves maps so much. I want to tell all users to continue to send us feedback.
Yeah.
Map making is something that never ends.
I know.
The world is
continuous
constantly
process.
changing.
Yeah.
It's a continuous process. The technologies are evolving to keep up with the pace at which the world is changing. So send us your feedback. Give us your map edits. Help the community around you have a better experience.
So guys, with that, I think, thank you, Miriam. I mean, thanks for all the details, thanks for all the insights, and thanks for the tip, because अब मैं save करने वाला हूँ. I'm going to Vegas in January, so मैं पहले से I'll create a list. Like this is the place that I should miss here. And आप बताइए, what's your feedback? If you have any questions for Google, if you have any feedback on the Maps application, if you want to highlight any errors, let's say अगर आपको कहीं पे रास्ता बंद मिलता है तो you can be a local guide now और वहाँ पे update कर सकते हो. Google team is definitely reading all the comments on this as a feedback for Google Maps.
Absolutely.
And मैं आपसे मिलता हूँ आगे next video में with some even more details around navigation, around multiple things, all across technology. अभी के लिए इस वीडियो में इतना ही. जय हिंद, वंदे मातरम.